Today we're going to talk about pregnancy. This is an ongoing series on women's health, and this is part 3. We're going to talk about the basics of pregnancy, what you need for a pregnancy, where the egg comes from, where the sperm comes from, what happens during sex that causes a pregnancy, how your doctor knows that you're pregnant, and some common signs of pregnancy. How does pregnancy occur? Do you know? Pregnancy occurs when a man and a woman have unprotected sex. Just as a hen needs to lay an egg that is fertilized by a rooster in order to produce a baby chicken, a human female egg also needs to be fertilized by a male sperm in order to produce a baby. This is what happens when a male's penis releases liquid that contains millions of sperm into the female vagina when they have sex. When one of these sperms penetrates the eggs, fertilization occurs and the pregnancy begins. So where do female eggs come from? We talked about this in session number 1 on female anatomy, but let me just repeat some of the things. So almost every female is born with 2 ovaries that contain millions of pinpoint-sized eggs. These eggs remain dormant or asleep until a girl starts to go through puberty, where she becomes a woman. The physical changes that happen to a girl's body as she's going through puberty include breast development, increased hair in the private and underarm area, as well as menstruation. At this point, she starts releasing an egg once a month. From this point on, she can become pregnant until she stops having periods for 1 year. And this usually happens around the age of 50. And therefore, most of the eggs that a woman's born with will never be used in her lifetime. While the egg is being prepared to be released every month, the body starts preparing for a pregnancy. It does this by increasing the lining in the uterus. This lining is where the embryo or the fertilized egg will implant, and that will be the source of nutrition or food for the baby. If an egg is not fertilized or it doesn't implant, then a woman will have a normal period as the unused uterine lining is shed. Now we talked about where eggs come from. Where does sperm come from? Sperm comes from the male reproductive organs. We haven't and we aren't going to discuss those, but I wanted to explain, although women are born with millions of eggs, boys are not born with millions of sperm. When they're born, they don't have sperm. However, when they go through puberty or the changes that make a boy a man, reproductively speaking, they start to produce sperm. Other changes that occur are a voice change, increased muscle, increased hair growth. From this point on, a male can make a female pregnant. So let's talk about what happens during sex. There's 2 things that are necessary for a baby to be born. You need an egg as well as sperm. As we talked about, the eggs live in the ovaries, and once a month they are released and they start going down the fallopian tube. During sex, millions of sperm enter the vagina and they go up through the cervix into the uterus, and they try to find their way to an egg. So what happens is that there's millions of sperm trying to get into an egg. It's a competition to see who can be the first one to penetrate that egg and fertilize it. There's usually only one lucky sperm that's able to do that, and the rest of them die. Now, when the sperm does successfully enter the egg, then the embryo is formed, and the fertilized egg travels down into the uterus from the fallopian tube and attaches into the lining of the uterus. Here, it will continue to grow and form a beautiful baby. How does your doctor know that you're pregnant? When the fertilized egg implants or attaches to the uterine lining, it starts releasing a hormone called HCG. This is what doctors measure with the blood test that they do, or this is what's measured in the urine test that you can do yourself at home. When this hormone is released, it also signals the body not to have a period and not to shed that lining. What are other signs that you could be pregnant? They include nausea, fatigue, breast tenderness. These can happen as early as 2 to 8 weeks into your pregnancy. I hope that helped you understand pregnancy. If you have more questions, you can always reach out to us at saveeach1.org. Please continue to watch our series on women's health, as well as our other health and safety videos.